Hello, my name is Francis Fox. Ah, I'm a galactic shaman, trained remote viewer. All my psychic skills have been trained, honed, practiced, compared, statistically viewed. And I'm here to try and share with you what it is that I see so that this process that we're in, end times, fall of hierarchy, paradigm collapse, golden age, new age, galactic, interfacing with the galactic world, so that all that can be a little bit easier because it's really an awful lot all at once. I already sketched you. You're massively depressed, and that includes me. This is a collective mind map. And when we do the mantras and the mudras and the music therapy, it improves dramatically. And what should that mean to you? What it should mean to you is that you should spend your day working on your mind. Your mind creates your reality. So you should spend your day doing mantras and spend your day where your environment is being protected, purified, nurtured, corrected via frequencies, but the frequencies of music, of drums, of crystal bowls. Correcting your environment means that your mind, which extends into your environment 18 inches on the physical dimension and much more than that, because then it slips into the other dimensions, correcting your environment and making it a place that is supportive of your mind strings that extend those 18 inches is really important because you're basically supporting your intentions. So, what's going on? Subtitle of today's chat is, are you ready? Big stuff is going on. Nobody can tolerate anything anymore. We're too frustrated. Everything is collapsing. Everything is breaking, including us. We've set up a world for ourselves that doesn't work. Doesn't work for us. Definitely does not work for our children. And the younger they are, the less it works. So something's got to give, and people don't give up their positions gracefully. None of us is willing to give up what we need to give up, or to make the, practically none of us is willing to make the changes that we need to make. And so I think the changes are going to be made for us. What does that look like? You're talking about polar cap shifts. Let's talk about that for a second. And let me tell you what it is that I know from my point of view. Definitely the solar caps are moving. And what's interesting is that, and I'm going to put up here now the graphics of your energy bodies, not just mine, not just weird people's, yours too. These are your energy bodies. And the gold one, which you see twice, the gold one is magnetic, and it's connected to the magnetic poles, not the physical. When the magnetic poles move, which is what they're doing, that body moves out of alignment with its physical body, with the physical body of the planet. Excuse me. When the magnetic poles move, which they're moving, they're no longer where they used to be. They're hitting almost Siberia. In other words, very far away. They've traveled. Your spirit body, which is the gold one in those graphics, also moves away from your physical. The magnetic poles move away from the physical poles because the North Pole is still physically up there. I don't know how science explains that. Your physical body is here, but your magnetic astral spirit is no longer as aligned with it. That alone is a problem. It's like putting on your pants, but not getting your pant leg moves, or your leg moves, your astral leg, and then your pant leg is over here. Well, they're supposed to be together. They're supposed to be working together. It's supposed to be inside. It's not. So that alone, the polar cap shifts, the fact that there is absolutely something going on there, it's a problem. The solar flares, people's unhappiness, people no longer willing to just work for $1 or for $50 or for $1,000. They must feel good about what it is that they do. And they're not feeling good, most of them, which is why we recommend the mantra having to do with aligning with your prosperous mission. But let's go ahead and let's get into some mantras, because I'm not in a great place. I'm very frustrated, but that's all of us. I had to deal with issues with I got 2,000 emails in the space of an hour in my email. Of course, all of that's totally fixable with money. And it really is not really that much money to have my email protected. I thought it was. But the dealing with these very large companies, it just doesn't work emotionally. Now, when you have an argument with somebody in your home, you need to open the windows. You need to play some singing bowls or play some music that is healing so that it moves the energy. Because if not, what you find is, if, like, say your children fight a lot or they fight, you're going to find that they're always fighting in the same places. They won't fight in the hallway, or they might not fight in a bedroom, but they will fight at the kitchen table, or they'll fight some of the places. And it's usually the same places, because those places are holding the memory, the emotions, and the images from the previous fights. Okay, how does that apply to my frustration with what went on with my email? I speak to people on the phone, big companies. They never purified the desk that they're sitting at. They never purified any of that. So all of the frustrations, which they can add mine today, is still there in that desk in that company, because nobody ever cleared it. And every time I ask somebody, or somebody asks me to read their home, it's always a problem, because they're not happy with what it is that I find. Because I walk through the home and I'm diagnosing their life, but I'm diagnosing the part of their life that's not flowing, which are the bad stuff, the arguments, the spirits, because the good stuff flows. So several years ago, I needed to document a walkthrough of a home with everything. I do this with companies also. This was a home. I walked through, awful lot of stuff there, a lot of spirits, a lot of bad energy, a lot of bad old thoughts, old arguments. And I said, you don't purify the house. And she said, well, no, I didn't know I had to. Okay. I said, oh, well, okay, but you know what? You really need to open the windows. And I said, she said, well, I think half of the windows, I can't open them. Well, why can't you open your windows? Well, I've actually never opened them since I moved here. You've never opened the windows to your home since you moved here? How long have you lived here? 14 years. Nothing was ever purified. It's like saying you haven't bathed for 14 years to a person like me. You have not bathed for 14 years. Oh, but I'm clean. No. No. So I went into shock. And I realized when I got off the phone with the person that I was working with, that I was not just dealing with him because he was being very pleasant, very well trained. I was feeding off of all of the frustrated people that had called him and had also not gotten satisfactory answers, which are probably thousands. And that's the problem today. We are recycling old stuff because we didn't know that we need to open the windows. We didn't know that we need to have a vibration in the other dimensions that will balance off the vibration of Wi-Fi and 5G. We didn't know that. So we haven't done anything about it. And then we don't understand how come it's really hard to get out of a funk. It's really hard to be in a good mood. And yet, if we get up, get into our car and go someplace else, and you should check yourself on this. When you leave your home, when you get to your car, you notice that you're already feeling better. And when you get to another place where there's movement, etc., and you're feeling better, then you need to think about, oh, I need to clear my house. You don't need to burn your house down, even though fire is a great way to purify. Yesterday, I was watching a show on Netflix. It's called the Terracotta Army, I believe, and it's what they found in China. They found buried 8,000 terracotta statues. And it was in honor of the first emperor of China. I get those kind of details mixed up sometimes due to my programming. So, but there's 8,000 terracotta statues. That I can tell you, and you can look it up. It was interesting. And they were trying to come to conclusions, historical conclusions, as to who this particular area was, who had been buried there. It's in China. But the important point was not that. I found out through the show that each of the statues is different. Okay? Each of the statues is different. 8,000 of them. Now, why would they make each statue different? I have, which it's downstairs, so I cannot show it to you. I have a statue that somebody found in a home, and they didn't want it because they felt that it didn't feel good in their home. And it turned out it was a statue that was part of a burial. I don't know that I've talked about that on this particular chat in English. The statue came with the spirit of the soldier that was killed, so that his spirit, that gold figure in the graphics I just showed you, could be attached to the statue. The statue was buried together with the spirit, with the important man in this burial site in Peru. One statue, one soldier, murdered in order to attach the spirit to the statue. 8,000 terracotta statues buried. And I checked. 8,000 soldiers were murdered. And that's why, and I think, and you know what? I have to ask that and get the answer and get it to you. Each statue looks different. The face is different. The shape is different. The hair, everything's different, because it was modeled after a person that was then killed. That's 8,000 spirits. The show is about the fact that for some reason, mysterious reason, all of the statues were destroyed systematically. And some of them was destroyed because there was a fire, but well, that particular man that this was his burial was murdered, and it was a big conspiracy thing, and they murdered all the family members, the brothers and the sisters, blah, 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 blah. Meanwhile, they're protecting the original dead emperor with 8,000 spirits. Well, heck, man, if I'm the next guy that's taking over, I don't want those spirits around, because the instructions are to protect the king, the emperor, and to do that, the spirits will do basically whatever. They can destroy your life. They can end up getting you killed. 8,000 of them. Well, makes sense. Get rid of the statues, which is what's anchoring the spirit to those intentions and to that particular king. But why am I telling you this story? I'm telling you this story because the storyline that they came up with in the show was good, but the storyline, they don't know that. So they have to fill it in. They have to fill it in trying to explain why, because it was like, why would they? All 8,000 statues, I think not a single one was undamaged, and they were purposefully damaged. Why would you do that? Well, they don't know that they did it because they wanted to eliminate the 8,000 enemy spirits. So they had to make up a story. And of course, as when you say something that's not true, you have to go around and around. And when you say something true, it's like 2 sentences. Same thing with that particular show. And I'm not being critical of the show. What I'm being critical of the fact is that if we don't integrate the reality of spirits, then we have to do an awful lot of talking, an awful lot of explaining, and it doesn't sound right. And it's not right because you just left out the biggest factor. Now, it wasn't 8,000 statues that look the same, 8,000 different statues, because it was 8,000 different men that were murdered. Continuing on, let's go ahead and do some mantras. The third eye continues to be where you have to pay attention. But I did get a piece of information yesterday that you might find interesting. And yes, I did get my email, and that's why I was on with a big company, with Microsoft. Denial, 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 denial. GoDaddy, we're not Microsoft. Okay, well, I want to talk to Microsoft. No, we take care of the Microsoft. Okay? So the third eye is important, but we are doing some events in which when now we found out that we have implants that are like hoses, like the movie The Matrix. That's exactly what we have, but in every chakra, in every part of our body practically. So yesterday I was clearing the third eye. And the information that I got, once we got that opened up, or I cut as many of the implants as I could, there's a central channel, which you saw in the graphic. And that central channel has to be clear so that your energy can rise. Ascension process, Jacob's ladder. And this crown chakra is about faith. What I found was that the crown chakra, the center axis between the third eye and the crown chakra, has a trauma that is not allowing the energy to flow up. The trauma is loss of mother. Now, all of us have lost our mothers, this incarnation, other incarnations, or we're going to lose our mother. That trauma is important enough that it blocks the flow of faith. Now, did anybody know that? No. Really interesting, the information that comes out when you're doing clearings, things that make sense, but we don't know. What is the biggest issue for all human beings? They say the number one is separation from God, and the number two is separation from mother. So we're already separated from God, and then we get separated from mother because at some point you lose your mother. If it's not this incarnation, it's another one. And that stops you from having faith. That piece of information is valuable to you if you have big issues with faith, particularly if you actually did lose your mother, especially if it was inappropriate when you were a child or through an accident to where it really didn't appear to be her time to go, etc. So I'm giving you that information in case you struggle with faith. Oh yes, you're going to get it done, you believe, but inside of you there's something that doesn't really, that you should do the mantra of miraculously purifying the trauma of the loss of your mother. I would do it anyway, because it might be a loss of a mother before you're incarnated. It was an interesting piece of information. Also, the heart chakra, every time I do any kind of an event, I always clear the back of the heart chakra. And what I found several days ago in one of these matrix cutting events, we have a metallic chain inside our heart chakra, which or whose intention? The chain has consciousness, so its intention is that your love chain you up, that your love tie you up. And that is what love does. It's not supposed to. You're supposed to flow, but we don't. But that's because there's a literally metallic chain inside the heart chakra. If it's metallic, it means that it's galactic. It's not earthbound spirits that did that. It's galactic beings. Anyway, this may be more information than what you wanted or needed. News from other dimensions. It's not going to be the same as listening to CNN or Mario on X. Different dimensions. So let's go ahead and let's do the mantra having to do with let me see. Let's do the third eye because it's too important. So I got in 2,000 emails and now I can't get out of this. Okay, here we go. We're going to do this for 15 minutes. And we're going, no, don't do that. What is this? Video storage, extra camera, presentations, interesting. There we go. They're changing this every day. Okay, so let's do 15 minutes. You repeat the mantra in silence, you expel the breath. Sorry, I don't know how to turn the volume down slowly. We did 15 minutes. How do you feel? You're looking so much better. Is it possible? I mean, why would I'm not lying? I'm sketching what I see. You come in draggy, and then you get like this. You get your protection, your third eye opens. But look how interesting. The earth is really hot again. And look how interesting. The words going home. Are we going home? And then Don't like this. ET enemies are angry that humans have not started to eat each other. That's predicted in end times. The Mayans said it. The Bible says it. The dolphins say it. So the ETs wonder why we haven't done that yet. So whereas we may be thinking we're not great, human beings are terrible, apparently we're a lot nicer than we think. And we're a lot more stable than we think, at least according to that. So I'm going to end here by saying that I'm very happy that Elon Musk's package was passed simply because of the issue of fairness. The thing that makes people the sickest, the quickest is a lack of fairness. It and obviously, at least not just in my opinion, but in practically everybody's, it wasn't fair. And in the investigating of it, somebody, I think, if I read correctly, that only has like 9 shares was the one that was able to complain and make this happen. And there we go with the whole thing with hierarchy. The hierarchy was what contested, this person with very little shares contested the high court. The high court said something, or whatever level court it was in Delaware. And so in order to get fairness, they had to move to another state. But the thing that really moved the needle was the community, the Tesla community that got together and said, we're not going to take the unfairness. We're going to mobilize this, and this is not right, and it's not going to happen. And I suspect that that movement has been very empowering for those of us that actually believe in Elon and Tesla, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. The whole issue of AI and the robots that they're building is not an avoidable issue, because it is, if the spaceships that come are like some of the people that have had contact with ETs have said that they are, that the spaceship is an extension of the mind of the ETs that are driving the spaceship, then, and we are becoming more galactic in this planet, then I think this is inevitable. At which time I think we need to be grateful that somebody very community and heart-centered like Elon Musk is in charge, or is at the head of a lot of that, certainly not in charge of the whole thing. But we are in deep trouble because of our lack of knowledge of what it is that the galactics can do, because of our lack of awareness and knowledge of their intentions towards us, many of them, not all of them, absolutely not all of them. We are very easily fooled. We're very easily taken down a dark path, thinking that there's gold at the end, and we're very easily taken advantage of, which is why I have this chat. In order to give you more information so that if ETs decide they want to go after your kid, that you will notice the symptoms and you'll be able to do things to block it. And I'll just end this with just one story. Years ago, I took care of, I believe it was 60 autistic children in 2 years. I just wanted to know what autism was. And I remember, and I will never forget one day, and that was when I was seeing people in an office. That was 30 years ago. And I remember the family came in, the parents with the kid, and it was the second visit. The kid had improved, and so we were going to see, what more, where we could take. And I remember standing in front of the child. The child was sitting on a massage table that I had in that room. And an ET showed up and said, "This one's ours." And I'm like, "This one's ours? What? And it was pointing at the little boy. "You're not going to get this one." And I had pulled out several children of autism. And I wasn't the one who said they were no longer autistic. Their doctors did. They're doctors who never were told that the parents had me working with the kid. Everybody was afraid of the doctors. How come They were afraid of their doctors. Why would be afraid of the doctors? Wouldn't you think you want to give them the information so the doctor can maybe learn from it? But I guess we kind of all knew the doctors weren't going to learn from it. Hierarchy. That information came from outside of their hierarchy. I do have a university degree. Okay, I did graduate political science. Sorry. But the ET said, this one's ours. So I said to the parents, I can't take care of your child. And they said, why not? And I said, because there is a being here who says that they're not going to let me, that your child belongs to them. And they said, oh my God, what does that mean? I said, I have no idea. I have no idea. But I can tell you that because I don't know, there's no way that I'm going to be able to win on this one. And I didn't continue with the next sentence to say, and I'm not going down trying to take care of one child when I don't even know what the heck I'm doing. Not in terms of the autism, in terms of the kid and what the ETs were saying. So we all need more information. Now, I have a lot of information compared to most people, but we need more. We need everybody. But if you still don't, you're still arguing out there on X and all over the place. Do they exist? They don't. How many more testimonials do you want? This is the whole thing with developing, and that's why we spent today working on your third eye. What is blocking you from your third eye being totally available to you and giving you all this extra information? Your third eye is blocked. And you don't respect the information it gives you. You're having a hard time being an authority figure to yourself. I know it took me a lot of years to totally respect, or to mainly respect the information that I bring. I still would like some outside verification and validation, which you would do in a profession anyway. But the point of the matter is that we are really limping because we have an enemy. And we're still arguing whether that enemy exists as the enemy is taking us down. I hate to part with those words, but I'm gonna. And we'll see you on Monday.